Okay, so let's just have a quick look at factorization, which is what we were just looking at. This won't be too long; it'll probably only be 5 minutes, but just to give you a basic breakdown, Cash, of how to approach factorization, what it is, what's the point of it. In terms of the purpose of factorization, really, it's at this stage, it's almost just an academic exercise. What factorization really is, it's a stepping stone in algebra to allow you to do something more useful at a later step. So at this stage, we're kind of just learning how to do that stepping stone. So that's what we're really doing. So factorization. So the basic principle is looking for numbers or letters that are common factors. Just remembering a factor, common factors. A factor is something that will go into another number. So for example, common factors of, let's say, 70 and let's go with 63. The common factor there between those two numbers would be 7. We have a common factor of 7. So factorization relies on common factors. So let's do it first of all numerically. So we did this example earlier on. So when we're factorizing, effectively we're putting in brackets. We're putting in brackets. Before we've done multiplying out brackets, here we're actually putting brackets in. Let's have a look at what this one's going to mean. So, for example, let's go with 75 plus 50 plus 100. Okay, do we have any common factors that will go into all of those? An obvious common factor would be 5. 5 is a common factor. So we put 5 outside the brackets, and now we're going to put in brackets. 75, 5, so that's going to be, what is that going to be actually? It's going to be 15. Because 5 times 15 equals 75. So we put in the bracket. 5 to 50, that's going to be 10. To 100, that's going to be 20. So we have now successfully factorized these numbers. We put in brackets. And we put in brackets using a common factor. 5 is the common factor there. So let's just do a couple more examples with numbers. Let's go with 18, 45, and 99. Okay, and we actually could have a plus and a minus here. It doesn't really matter what's going on with these symbols. We're going to factorize just the same. We're going to factorize just the same. So what is our common factor here? You might notice 9 will go into all 3 of those numbers. So we put the 9 outside the brackets, and then we remake this line with the 9 on the outside. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 11 is 99. And the reason this does remake that line, these two things are the same thing, just expressed in a different way, is because whenever we have a number outside a bracket, it multiplies everything inside the bracket. So 9 times 2, 9 times 5, 9 times 11 would be the same as 18, 45, and 99. Let's do one more. Let's go with 14, 28, 32. Okay, looking at these, I think the only number I can see really that's going to go into all of those would be 2. The number 2 is going to go into all of those. So I'll put 2 outside the bracket. I'll just put the symbols in there. Let's just keep it simple. Let's go plus and plus. 7, 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 14, 28. 2 times 16 is 32. So we factorized a series of numbers. Factorized a series of numbers. Let's now go on to letters. Factorize a series of letters. Let's have a look at this. So for example, if I have a list of letters here, I've got an A plus an A squared plus an A. What will go into all of those is the A. The A will go into all of those. So I put the A on the outside, I open my brackets, and that's just going to be A, that's just going to be 1. 1 times A plus A, and then it's going to be another 1 there. That's what that one would look like. Let's do another letter here. Let's go for B to the 4 plus B cubed plus B to the 5. So this is an interesting one. I don't need to just put B on the outside here. I can actually put the highest possible value on the outside, which is B cubed. B cubed. What that would leave me with when I open my bracket would be just B on its own. B cubed times B, give me B to the 4. B cubed times 1 would give me B to the 3. Also all B cubed. B cubed times B squared, give me B to the 5. I'll do one more like this. Just look at that again. The last one, let's go with C to the 7 minus C to the 5 plus C to, just plus C to the 2, C squared. Now the highest value of C I can go with is C squared, so I'll put that on the outside. That's the highest common factor between them. If I put a C to the 5 on the outside, that would be okay for these two, but it would be too high for the C squared. It would be too high for that. So I'll put on the outside C squared. Open the bracket. See if you can predict what these are going to be. C squared to make up C to the 7 will be C to the 5 there. C squared to make up C to the 5 will be C to the 3 there. C squared to make up C squared, I just put a 1 there. So that's the letters element. That's the letters element. Now, let's have a look at mixing letters plus let's look at mixing letters plus numbers here. So in terms of common factors for numbers, I've got 5, 10 and 15. So my common factor would be would be 5. So I'll put that on the outside. In terms of my letters, my common factor, I've got A cubed there, A to the 4 there, A to the 6 there. Common factor is going to be A cubed, because that's going to go into all of them. I then open my bracket, and that's going to leave me with, my first one here is going to be 1. The next one there is going to be, well, to make up the 10, that's going to have, the 5 would have to be with 2. To make up A to the 4, the A cubed would have to be with 8. Let's put pluses between these, just keep it simple. The last one, 5A cubed to make up 15A to the 6, would have to be with 3A to the 3. 3A to the 3. I'll do one more example. Let's go with 16C squared plus 24C to the 6 plus 40C to the 3. So just have a think about what could be common factors numerically there between those numbers. You may have noticed the common factor between the numbers is 8. Common factor between the letters, got C squared, C to the 6 and C to the 3. The highest one we can put in will be c squared. So we're going to put that outside the brackets. We now open the brackets and we're going to remake this line. So to get from remake that, 8 is going to have to be multiplied by 2. C squared, well, that just stays as is. So we don't need to do anything for that. 24 and 8 is 3. C squared to get to c to the 6 will be c to the 4. Lastly, 8 times by to get to 40 would be 5. C squared to get to c is going to be c. Sorry, to get to c cubed, we have to multiply an extra c in there. So we've now factorized that line there. So it's a bit longer than 10 minutes, but that is the guide to factorizing at this level. You would probably want to watch this back a little bit. I went through it relatively swiftly for the sake of making the video last forever, but all the information is in there, and I've gone through a kind of gradient of different graded examples there that get progressively harder. So it's probably worth watching back again and just looking at each example. It is fairly straightforward when you actually get practicing on it. So I'm going to set you some questions which you can actually then go away and do and practice on this topic.